Your grief is real, but what you are grieving for is not what you think. Most people spend their entire lives grieving. Grieving people, grieving outcomes, grieving versions of themselves they never became. And almost nobody stops to ask, what if the grief is real, but the reason behind it is completely wrong? Arjuna reaches his limit. He has said everything he has to say. Every argument has been made, every justification laid out, and he arrives at his final statement. Even if I were given an unrivaled kingdom, even the sovereignty of the gods themselves, nothing would drive away the grief that is consuming me. Then silence. He tells Krishna he will not fight, and stops talking. Krishna has been listening through all of it, through every elaborate argument, through every moral framework Arjuna constructed to make retreat feel like the right choice. And now he speaks, not with comfort, not with patience, with precision. You are mourning for what is not worthy of mourning. You speak words that sound like wisdom, but they are not wisdom. The wise do not grieve for the living, and the wise do not grieve for the dead. 2 sentences. The entire foundation of Arjuna's grief dismantled. Notice what Krishna does not say. He does not say your grief is not real. He does not say you should not feel this. He does not say this is easy. He says the object of your grief is wrong. You are grieving the loss of people and outcomes. But what you think you are about to lose cannot actually be lost. And what you think you are protecting was never what it appeared to be. This is the distinction the Gita is going to spend the next 16 chapters building. But Krishna plants the seed right here, in the very first words he speaks. Your suffering is not the problem. Your understanding of what you are suffering over is. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad contains one of the most psychologically precise teachings in all of ancient literature. The sage Yajnavalkya tells his wife Maitri, a husband is not dear to you because you love the husband. A husband is dear to you because through the husband, you are touching something deeper. The same is true of children, wealth, and everything else you love. You are never actually loving the object. You are loving the self that shines through the object. Remove that understanding and everything you love becomes a source of grief the moment it changes or disappears, because you have confused the lamp for the light. This is exactly what is happening to Arjuna. He believes he is grieving his teachers and his family. He is not. He is grieving his attachment to a version of the world that he has built his identity around. His teachers as fixed, permanent, unalterable features of his life. And the thought of that world changing has produced a pain so total, it has shut his entire system down. In psychology, this is called complicated grief rooted in identity fusion. When a person's sense of self becomes so intertwined with specific people, roles, or outcomes that the threat of losing them is experienced not as loss, but as annihilation of the self. Arjuna is not afraid of them dying. He is afraid of who he will be without them. That is a fundamentally different problem, and it requires a fundamentally different solution. Not comfort, understanding, which is exactly what Krishna provides. Krishna does not tell Arjuna to stop grieving. He tells him he has misidentified the source of it. That is not comfort. That is the beginning of the most important education a human being can receive.